going to do one more trivia giveaway. This is a low-hanging fruit. This is a softball. This one's so easy. Okay, first person that gets my attention that can name one food source to avoid, go. Cheese, there we go. Dairy, we'll give you that. Yeah. So you'll be glad to know that I'm out of jokes. Okay, so we're going to start here in just a minute, but well, first of all, let's give a big round of applause for our speakers today. And second, let's give a big round of applause and turn around you is all of our sponsors. And then anyone from HPA, whether you're on the board of directors, on the committees, just go ahead and stand up or raise your hand. All right, great. And we have well over 250 people here, so give yourselves a round of applause. Thank you for supporting the program. Okay, a couple more things. So this program's been professionally videotaped. It's going to be edited and will be available with the slides as well. So if you didn't take notes fast enough or worried about missing anything, we will have it for you. If you have not signed up for our newsletter, I encourage you to get on our website. It's easy to do. It's on the homepage of the website, parkinsonshawaii.org. And you can sign up for the newsletter. You'll be surprised of how much services and things are going on in this community to help you live well with Parkinson's. And it comes right to you. The newsletter comes out pretty much weekly. And then when we have new announcements like the Harmonica website, when we have the video ready, all that will be on that newsletter with easy access for you all. So I encourage you again, it's parkinsonshawaii.org. Or if you just Google Hawaii Parkinson's Association, it should take you right to the website. Okay, a couple of ground rules. So we have a couple of questions that were already given to me. I'm going to start it, but then this is your opportunity to pick the brains and stump the experts. Okay. So what we'll do is, so when I ask for questions, raise your hand. We have two people with mics. Can you make your way where you're at? Okay, and we have Nikki there. She's kind of our pointer. So put your hand up, don't yell. Raise your hand up and we will find you. We'll do our best to get through as many questions as we can. We allotted a lot of time for it, so we actually have a good amount of time. If we don't get to your question, all you can do is email us, contact us, and we will get the answer to you, okay? And so again, and then all the answers to this will be videotaped as well. So we're going to go ahead. I had some questions that were given to me during the break, and then we'll open it up for you guys. So first question is for Dr. Brash. It is, I heard that one of the best ways to exercise with Parkinson's is doing HIIT training. Can you explain what that is?
Okay, that's a great question. HIIT training, high intensity interval training. And there are a lot of ways to do that. Typically it's done in with body weight exercises in a format called Tabatas, where you might do something like squats for a certain amount of time and have a short break. You might do something like burpees, not burping a child, but where you drop down into a plank position and then hop your way back up to standing over and over. HIIT philosophy can be applied to a lot of things, though. And recently, I think it was in the American Physical Therapy Association, APTA. It's our national organization for physical therapists, has different sections. And the geriatrics section had a pretty interesting study where they looked at applying training from HIIT exercise format to walking, high intensity interval walking. And that is particularly interesting for people with Parkinson's because a lot of times I'll say to somebody, hey, walk at your normal pace. And if they're in the clinic and they know I'm evaluating them, they walk faster and their steps are bigger. And their spouse or loved one or friend or frenemy that's with them might say, hey, that's not how they normally walk, buddy. But what that means is, even with something as simple as walking, if for an interval of time, maybe 1 minute or 2 or 3 minutes, you go a little bit faster than you would normally intend, and then you go for another minute back to your self-selected pace, there are a lot of brain health benefits for that, and cardiovascular benefits, taking some strain off your heart and lungs. A lot of functional things can be improved with something that simple. So it doesn't mean you have to, put on a yoga outfit and go to some gym and get yelled at by some it's something that can be applied even with stationary cycling. They're far-reaching benefits.
All right, great. Thank you for the answer. Another question that was given to me. I have issues with severe bloating on a daily basis that has incapacitated me. I've been to many doctors and have not got a solution. Is there any suggestions, or have you seen that, on how to deal with severe painful bloating?
I assume that's for me. So yeah, there are a ton of things that you can do. There are 2 doctors in our clinic who kind of specialize in gut health and Parkinson's disease, and there are a lot of things that are hard to work up. Low stomach acid. There's an old study that says 58% of people with Parkinson's aren't even making enough stomach acid to adequately digest their levodopa. And that if you take your levodopa with a little ascorbic acid, vitamin C powder, and some water, or a lemon's 30 mils of lemon juice, that just that little extra bit of acid can improve the availability of your levodopa by 25%, if you're one of these 58% of people with low stomach acid. There's this thing called SIBO, small intestinal bacterial overgrowth, where the bacteria that belong in your colon start growing up into your small intestine. It affects nutrition, medication availability, gait. There's a study that says that gait improves when Parkinson's patients treat their SIBO. Harvard now has neurogastroenterology. So we are getting there. There is a whole field of what is the role of the gut and how do you work that up. And I would say there are a ton of things that you can do, starting with dietary modification all the way up. So yeah, I think that is a common complaint, and it's something that with our dietitian and the 2 docs in our clinic, Samantha Evans and Joshua Faranick, that specialize in gut, see a lot and treat a lot in patients. And I'll tell you this, diet, I do not talk to my patients about constipation. On the first visit, I yell at everyone and tell them for 2 or 3 months to follow this diet, and then you don't have to do it forever, but let's just do it for a couple strict months and reevaluate. The number of people who come in and say, I'm having 2 bowel movements a day and they're fluffy. I mean, you'd be surprised how much changing your diet and eating food that grows on the planet Earth can be really good for your gut and your microbiome.
Right, great. Okay, let's go out here to on this side. Anybody has some questions, just raise your hand. Right, there you go. And on this side, go ahead and raise your hand and we'll have a mic ready for you next.
Aloha, thank you very much for being here. Twice in the talk, they talked about lithium. And I wanted to know because I thought lithium was medication.
It is. So lithium is a mineral. It's an element on the periodic table. And it is a human requirement. All cells in the human body, except red blood cells, have lithium and need lithium. And neurons need 5 times more lithium than other cells. When lithium levels are low, neurons get edgy and excitable. And you need lithium. There's something called autophagy. It's kind of like the garbage disposal of cells, taking out the trash. Parkinson's patients have a hard time clearing the waste from cells. Lithium is required to clear that metabolic waste. And so my master's thesis is on lithium deficiency in Parkinson's. When I'm probably going 30 years back, 40 years back, there's research, probably even further back than that, that says the lower the lithium in the water supply in any area, the more suicides in that area. They did a study in Texas and looked from the wet to the dry areas. The more rain any region gets, the more lithium has been washed out of the groundwater because minerals are not evenly distributed throughout the Earth's crust. And so low lithium regions, we see more psychosis, more impulse control disorders, more aggressive behavior, more suicides. I started looking at Parkinson's disease. We saw that low lithium was associated with worse Parkinson's outcomes, and now there's a whole bunch of research happening in Alzheimer's. They did a study, I believe, in Denmark or one of the Scandinavian countries, and said the lower the lithium in the water supply, the more dementia in that village. And last summer, they did a study that low levels of lithium may be one of the risk factors for Alzheimer's. So whoever makes here's how much calcium, magnesium, iron, potassium a human needs, lithium has never made that list. There is no federal requirement that you get your lithium. In the 60s and 70s, when those lists were made, the assumption was, you only need 1 milligram or 2, everyone's getting that on their dirty carrot. Now we don't eat dirty carrots, and we do have a problem with lithium deficiency, and the only way to measure it is in the hair. So we are talking about 2 very different things. It's called a U-shaped curve. There's a sweet spot. If you are too low, you run into neurologic problems. And if you give high dose lithium, you can take a bipolar person and calm them down. And if somebody's having a manic episode, we will give such high doses of lithium that they're almost toxic. It acts as a CNS depressant, and it can cause a tremor. It can cause problems. And so people hear the word lithium and they get a little nervous because it has a bad rap from psychiatry. But we are talking not about pharmacological medical doses of lithium, but physiologically required amounts of lithium. Just like you need calcium and sodium and potassium, so do you need lithium, and most of us aren't getting it.
Any other, over here, there's...
One very cool study that was done in the 70s. They took healthy men in the Army in San Diego and gave them, I want to say, 1 milligram or placebo for 30 days. And at the end of the 30 days, the people who were randomized to 1 milligram a day were happier, friendlier, and had more energy.
All right, before we do this question, any questions over here, just raise your hand, and then we'll get ready.
So, first question so how do you get prescribed lithium?
It's an over-the-counter supplement.
Great.
In those 5 milligrams is what I often use with my patients. I'll give them a choice of 5 milligrams a day or 20 milligrams twice a week, but very, very low doses.
The other question is magnesium. I've noticed, I saw an NIH study, 20 years ago, showing that people with Parkinson's had low magnesium, but I've never seen anything talking about, well, are we giving anybody magnesium? In what form? Can you talk more about that?
Briefly, our data absolutely says the lower a person's hair magnesium, the more symptomatic they are and the faster they're progressing. We're working that up right now. For those of you, I do think it's a very, very safe supplement that many of you, all of you, could probably afford. Citrate, there are different types of magnesium. This is a very important conversation. Milk of magnesia, magnesium oxide, will block your levodopa from working. Do not use magnesium oxide. That's a note all of you should write down. Magnesium citrate is the form that best helps you have a bowel movement. Magnesium glycinate has the most research for leg cramps. And there's a fancy, more expensive version called Magtene, or magnesium L-threonate, that is, we think, best at getting to the brain. They just did a study with healthy elderly, and all 5 cognitive domains improved on the magnesium threonate after a few months in the people who got that arm. And there's another study using that same product for adult attention deficit disorder with tremendous success. And so a lot of my patients use that magnesium L-threonate or Magtene brand. They have it at Costco, they have it all over the place.
Okay, any questions over here? There's one over here. Just stand up, they'll bring a mic to you. If you have a question, go ahead and put your hand up, and we'll put you in the queue for the next one.
Hi, thank you very much. You mentioned biomarkers testing you're doing in the clinic. Would you explain what biomarkers testing?
Yeah, it's a fancy word that means I draw blood and cut your hair. I'm looking at vitamin D, B12, and then in hair testing. Hair testing kind of has a bad rap because a lot of people think that I'm doing it to see if they're toxic. I'm not looking to see if you have metal. I will be able to tell if you're partner's putting arsenic in your morning smoothie. So we can see if your mercury is high or your arsenic is high, but that is not why I'm doing it. There are just ultra trace minerals that are in such low concentrations, you can't find them in blood, and the only way to measure them is in hair. And so I just kind of do this one-stop shopping. I think the whole panel, it's $300 for the blood work and $89, I believe, for the hair test. I don't make any money off of it, but I ask all of my patients to do this $389 panel of labs before we get started. And that's just where we talk about their HDL and their vitamin D. And I tell them that, you know, I kind of think of that first visit as looking for the holes and cracks in the bottom of a boat. I tell them we're all aging and all of our boats are sinking, and Parkinson's boats are sinking a little bit faster. And when I'm looking for a vitamin D deficiency or a B12 deficiency, I'm just looking to see, are there any holes in the boat that we might want to plug up before we get going on the rest of things?
Okay, another question I have that was given to me. Are there ways to participate in clinical trials if you don't have Parkinson's?
Absolutely. There are lots of trials that enroll unaffected people as a comparison group, for example. And Lori, for example, do you enroll people without Parkinson's disease in the?
If they have risk factors, including if you consume dairy, you are at risk.
So yes, the answer is yes.
If you're at risk.
Has there been progress with the national bill passed in Congress about ending Parkinson's?
Oh, go ahead. Good stand up, Chris. Yeah.
Has there been progress on the national bill to end Parkinson's?
Okay, I'm gonna have Glenn answer that. So the question is, has there been any progress on the national bill to end Parkinson's?
Yes, Chris. So they finally seated the council, the patient council, and the expert council yesterday. They announced that yesterday, and so some of the notable names on there are Debbie Brooks, who's the CEO of Michael J. Fox Foundation, Dr. Michael Olkin, who's the author of the Parkinson Plan, and he's also the medical director for the Parkinson Foundation. And I think that's the two most prominent names. But yeah, so their first meeting is sometime in June of this year, and so they are taking public testimony. You can Google the website for the National Plan to End Parkinson's and get the answer, get the email address from there.
Great question. We have right over here, Tommy. Tommy, there's a mic. Behind. Yep.
If you go to a new town or a new city, like some of you come to here in Hawaii, is there a way of evaluating restaurants that would have low risk factors in the diet?
Okay, I'm going to just repeat the question. So, is there a resource to evaluate restaurants in your geographical area for risk factors of diet? Is that correct? Okay.
Not yet. You could build one. I'm giving a talk in northern Michigan this summer, and we actually it's at a local community college, and they have a contract with a caterer, and we had to get special permission from the president of the college, because there was not one thing on the menu of the caterer that they contracted with that met the diet. And so, I mean, and if you live in Arkansas, if you live in Texas, it is way harder. I mean, here in Hawaii, it's pretty easy to live off fish, fruit, veggies, and grains. I mean, this is kind of heaven here in terms of what you have available to you and how to eat. But somebody could easily start doing that, but what's going to happen is then you're going to have like an Alzheimer's group and a diabetes group.
Okay, Dr. Bruno.
Yes, sorry, not a question, but for the person who asked if a healthy non-Parkinson patient can participate in research, just wanted to have a plug that we really are excited for people to participate in research, and we have a control. Number one, you can donate your blood to get your genetics being a control, because it's really important to compare, as we heard. So you can join to be a control group for the genetic study. And then number 2, we're also doing smell test study, and this is to detect Parkinson or risk factors as early as possible. And in order to do that, we need a control. So if you're healthy and want to participate in research, that's great. So come talk to us. Sorry.
Is there any other questions out here? It's right here. Oh, I'm sorry, was there a question out? Okay, we'll go here next, and we'll get you next. Yeah, I'm sorry.
One of the things I heard you say about how horrible dairy is, if one is a particular fan of things like cheese to go with the healthy red wine, is it, we are wine drinkers, is there any benefit or to switching to a vegan cheese?
Oh, I think that's fine. I mean, now we're into the highly processed junk in a different direction, but at least it's not neurotoxic. No, I think you're better off to do a fake cheese. I mean, I think that's a nice kind of stepping stone. I don't think that that's a lifetime, like I ate fake Parmesan for the rest of my life, but I think as you're learning new recipes and new,
Experimentation.
I think I'll
You also said something about chicken and turkey.
For 10 years, every time we have analyzed these data, chicken has always been bad, turkey has never been bad. And we tend to think of them as pretty similar. I've had farmers tell me they are not at all similar, different farming, different feed, different everything. And so I don't actually know what that's about. Maybe it's how we're raising the chicken. I mean, chicken farms are pretty gross, maybe.
We have friends who raise turkeys.
Right. So yeah, and I have a lot of patients who look for loopholes, right? Beef, chicken, and pork was bad. I have people eating quail and buffalo and elk. I mean, if it's not listed, I'm not telling you have to become vegan or vegetarian. I'm just telling you what the data is saying, and we don't know if it's even the chicken. Maybe it's just something about the people who eat chicken.
We're never going to get a sponsorship from Chick-fil-A now. Okay. We have a question over here.
Yeah, my question is also for Dr. Mishley, just related to the dairy, just of parents of kids who drink a lot of milk. How about skim versus 2%? Is one better than the other? Or none?
None.
Or you're not shaking your head?
None. So my statistician, so for many years, I was treating this like points. Like I had a mathematical equation where a serving of dairy cost you this many points and a serving of fresh vegetables gave you this many points. And my statistician basically told me to stop treating this like Weight Watchers. Like you can't make enough friends that it doesn't matter what you eat. Like it doesn't work like that. They don't cancel each other out. And so that's why we had to do this 21-point system, is because she said that when we look at the data, it really looks more like Alcoholics Anonymous or alcoholism, right? Like we're not talking about you are better off to cut back. The benefit that we're seeing, there's a little bit of benefit from cutting back, but the real winners are the people who don't do it, right? Anyone know an alcoholic? Is there a difference between an alcoholic who stops drinking and one who cuts back? There's a difference.
Just a quick follow-up. I was also surprised about your probiotic comment.
Yeah.
I take a daily one, and I thought that was one of the things that were shown to help.
Well, they're doing research on individual probiotics. There's no doubt the gut is messed up, and there may someday be a probiotic for Parkinson's that helps, and they're working to try and find that. But really, each one of you has something like 5 to 7 million organisms in your gut. It is such a joke of a drop in a bucket to think that you're going to swallow a pill that's going to change this entire microbiome. What's growing in your gut is a function of what you're feeding it. So you can't go have cheeseburgers and milkshakes and take a probiotic and think you've righted the whole situation. It just doesn't work like that. So if you want good, healthy bugs, eat lots and lots of fresh fruits and vegetables with lots of prebiotics and fiber.
Any other questions?
I have a couple of suggestions. One is for lonely people, maybe you need to add puppies to that comparison. Some lonely people probably could be cured by puppies. You know, like puppies, dogs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that would be a cure for someone lonely.
Pets for social health. Yes.
I have a cute little 8-pound Yorkie, and she's awesome. So the other thing I mentioned is that it seems like there's a real shortage of movement disorder specialists in the United States. And I think maybe people should be thinking more about nurses and physical therapists and trainers, personal trainers, getting sort of a training to help Parkinson's people. I think that would be a good better direction than trying to invest in neurologists who are just so in demand. Everyone is deficient in neurologists. There's only one neurologist in a rural area in America at the moment. It's MDS. So I mean, it's just there's a shortage there. And lastly, when will we get prescriptions for exercise and biomarkers paid, issued by doctors and paid by our healthcare system versus the wheelchairs and the scooter people?
Okay, there's a lot to unpack there. First of all, puppies are great. Let's just all agree. Puppies are great. Dairy's bad. Puppies are great. Okay. Yeah. So how do we want to break this down? Let's start with a shortage of specialists. So movement disorder neurologists are specialists that are trained in Parkinson's, and there is kind of a shortage nationally, and definitely here in Hawaii. And so let's do some problem solving. So what are some strategies that we can do to meet the needs of the movement disorder community or Parkinson's community outside of or addition to or as an adjunct to your movement disorder neurologist? That's a hard one, right? But we're going to start with Webb.
Yeah, I'd just like to say that is an excellent point, and I want to emphasize that the care of Parkinson's disease should be a team. And I just want to make a pitch for the Department of Veterans Affairs. I was fortunate to work for the VA for 30 years. And one of the things that I really appreciated about the VA was when I saw somebody with Parkinson's disease, they went to physical therapy, they went to occupational therapy, they went to speech and language therapy. They were seen by nurses and by nurse practitioners and by physician's assistants. It was a team approach, and it wasn't just one of the people with Parkinson's disease that I followed. I tried to have them all see these different areas, and the whole team contributed to their care, and I think that is the only way that we can do that. So what I'm doing is I'm making a pitch for a single payer system, like the Department of Veterans Affairs, where everybody gets that kind of health care. And it's not just Parkinson's disease, is it? It's all healthcare conditions. So thank you for that comment.
I'd like to add to that, though, that part of what we're doing today is helping to fill some of that. I mean, it used to be the only source where you got credible information was your neurologist, your movement disorder specialist. Now what we're seeing with this multidisciplinary model is there are people who have various specialties that also play a critical role. And as more and more of them are getting trained, we're all trying to do our part to disseminate information. And the good news for all of us, I was talking with somebody from this very meeting earlier today about the benefit of the pandemic. And you'd say, there's a benefit to the global pandemic from COVID? What are you on, man? The benefit was we all got really good about trying to find information online and connecting in other ways than being physically in the same room. And what's come out of that now are, pre-pandemic, and again, I'm not saying COVID was a good thing, but pre-pandemic, you wanted to find an exercise group or a community support group or somebody to talk to trade ideas and share information with. You had to know where to go. And now it's a click away. And that is nothing short of a miracle. And still, when you hear something that sounds appealing, I still think it makes sense to run by your movement disorder specialist. Or if you're talking about changing the timing of your meds and you can't get into your movement disorder specialist, you can probably talk with your pharmacist. But everybody has an opportunity to share things that are working for them. And we know that no two people are alike physically or spiritually. However, there could be some similarity, and sharing resources and sharing stories and ideas is a profound way for everybody to kind of make up for the shortage instead of just waiting for more people to get trained.
And then I'll address the last one about what is it going to take to get things like biomarkers paid for, and that's more studies, more research, more evidence. This grant that we just applied for, I told you I'm using a $389 panel with my patients. The grant I applied for was let us do this in a couple thousand people with Parkinson's and come up with a list of the 10 tests on that scale that really make the biggest difference. Can we get the price down to $100 and really just find that core panel of labs that is going to serve you and not cost an arm and a leg? And we're working towards that.
Anybody else? Okay. Any other questions? A couple over here. Oh, over here? Okay, yeah, go ahead. Do you have a mic?
I have a family history of Parkinson's. My sister has Parkinson's. Our late brother had passed away a couple of years ago from Parkinson's. I want to know if I can get tested for Parkinson's, or do I still have to get referred to testing by a doctor?
Dr. Bruno, do you want to address that question? The reason I'm referring is my practice was in the Department of Veterans Affairs, and when I felt like somebody needed genetic testing, I would refer them for that testing, and that would be outside of the VA because the VA did not have that available genetic testing. So here in the community, I'm just not quite sure. I know we have it available. I'm not quite sure how an individual might access it.
Yes, so it's a complicated question, and I guess one thing to know is that just because you have genetic risk, it doesn't mean you'll 100% get Parkinson. So in some ways, knowing if you have the genetic risk may cause undue anxiety. There are also other things that you might not think about, like long-term insurance, employment, or other factors. So it's a very complicated question that a lot of people who have family history of Parkinson may wonder. I don't have a great answer, but I think it's, as we heard, there are many things you can do to try to be as healthy as possible and prevent from getting symptoms. And in the future, if we have a way to prevent it, like medicinally or pharmacological agent to try to slow down, I think this would be a very different conversation. But for now, I think for all of us, everybody here should do everything we learned today anyway. So I probably encourage you to talk to your doctor about possibility, but not 100% just go get a blood test. It's a complicated answer. Sorry, I wish I could give you a little more concrete answer. Dr. Micheli, do you have?
Well, I have 2 Italian truffle hunting dogs I've trained to detect the scent of Parkinson's from dirty earwax. So we were just talking about how easy there are things, tools we're just not using. And so my advice I do the same thing. I pretend like I have Parkinson's. I mean, I just live my life as though my kids and I already have it. It's just a matter of when we're going to get it, and everything we do every day decides, is this going to go fast or slow? And then the ProPD score, I say download the app and get your score now. And if it goes up above 500 or you see it starting to creep up, and there are these cardinal symptoms. If you're acting out your dreams, you have a poor sense of smell, you're constipated, there are some early symptoms that might get you into the doctor earlier to say, hey, and we have skin biopsies now, and we have things that do help with an early diagnosis if you have some early symptoms that can be done.
Any other questions? Okay, over here. Yep, go ahead.
You may have covered this already, but I was just wondering, since we can't drink milk or milk products, could you comment on nut butters and nut milks and oat milk, etc., macadamia nut milk?
Great. Macadamia nut milk is amazing. It is better than cow milk. It's delicious. Go for it. Go for it.
Hello, my name is Teresa. I'm on the other side here.
Okay, where's the next mic? Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Sorry. My name is Teresa, and I want to get back to, is there a way to be informed about restaurants that lean towards the kinds of foods that we've been encouraged to eat? And there is that online happycow.net. And when you go on the website, you can choose, I want a restaurant that serves gluten-free, serves vegetarian, serves vegan. There's other choices. And then you click and just check it out. It's totally worth it, especially if you're living here in Oahu. It has a lot more choices, but we've even went to Japan recently and utilized it there, and it served us well.
Happy Cow, it's called?
.net.
Okay.
And the other thing I was thinking, you could take a picture of the menu with your phone on ChatGPT, and it will tell you which meals on that menu are PD friendly.
Where's the next mic? Okay, go ahead.
I didn't raise my voice again because the woman who asked about the macadamia nut milk, I was basically going to ask for clarification that dairy did not mean oat milk, almond milk, and other milks that are acceptable.
Yep, all the plant-based milks are acceptable, and eggs are not dairy is a question I get a lot. They are in the dairy department at the grocery store, but we are only talking about things that come from mammalian milk. If it doesn't, it's time to stop breastfeeding. You can get milk from any place that does not come from mammalian breast milk. Any other form of milk is okay.
And thank you for all the encouragement.
Okay, we have a question back here. There, Mike. It's coming to you.
My question is to the panel in regards to the world situation. What is the Parkinson's rate worldwide? Is it on a substantial increase with the developed countries? Is it particularly in more of the highly advanced countries and less than the more impoverished countries? Do we have any data?
I don't have that data specifically. I do know that there's about 10 million people worldwide that have Parkinson's. That's the estimate. And it's about 1.2 million in the US, which is a higher projection than they estimated from before. They estimated it would be 1.2 million by 2030, and it's only 2026. So they've surpassed that total. It's difficult to say because there are some regions in the world where Parkinson's is not looked upon favorably, like in Africa, certain areas of Africa. So you have those things, and then you have cultures that don't tend to share their diagnosis very, very well. So they have that as well. So it's really hard to say. It's really hard to say. Even in Hawaii, we don't have a true number of people here. We estimate it's about 8,000, but we honestly don't know until we get a registry done. Yeah.
Can you speak about that? So that's a legislative process that we've engaged in the last couple of years. Can you get an update on that?
Yeah, so we put forth a bill that would create a Parkinson registry. And so last year we got all the way through the Senate to the Ways and Means Committee, where it died in committee. We tried to revive it again this year, but it didn't get past the committee again. So we'll keep trying. And then we have talked to the Department of Health about if there's ways that we can work with them on it through insurance records and so forth. But yeah, we just haven't had a chance to do it. But there's 14 other states in the country that do have a registry, and we're trying to be the 15th.
Great. Okay, we're going to take 2 more questions. Is there, okay, Chris has one more. We'll do one more from Chris, and then we're going to wrap up with our panel.
Last question. Exposure to the different reasons people get Parkinson's, I understand, their exposure to environmental or to head injury or so forth. But what if you live in a place you may not think is causing it? Should you try to do tests, or should you get an air purifier or water filter for your home? What's the recommendation for people who think they would be living by golf courses and that may be the source? What should they do if they can't move away, or is that the only choice?
So I'm just going to mention, so there's a great book called the Parkinson's Plan, and they actually talk about what you can do to minimize Parkinson's or try to avoid it for your children. And so one of those things is buy organic if you can, wash your food was really important, use a water filter if you can, and then air purifier. So those are the things that were actually in the book. So you can't always control the environment that you're living in, but you can try to, minimize, those effects. And so I would encourage anybody who's interested in the book. It's a wonderful book. It's written by Dr. Oken and Dr. Dorsey. I think it's on the New York Times bestseller list. And I think all the proceeds go to the Parkinson's organizations and research as well. Okay, we're going to wrap up. So what I want to do is I'm going to give each panel member they can give you one more last word of wisdom. You cannot say no dairy. You have to get a new one. All right, go ahead.
Go to bed early.
I'm going to paraphrase a quote from President Glenn Higa here. When a lot of people say, should I exercise? What's the best plan? They're kind of stuck in analysis paralysis. Let's make it happen is a great way to just get going.
Dance.
Anybody's in the dairy industry, sorry.
All right, so we're going to conclude our meeting. Again, I want to thank the speakers here. Let's give them a... I want to thank all the sponsors. Let's give them a big hand. Thank you. And give yourselves a hand. Thank you so much for giving your time, learning. We just gained, I gained an enormous amount of golden nuggets out of this, and I'm going to share and steal some of their stuff and preach the good word. But thank you so much. Colin, do you have any closing remarks?
So I just want to thank everybody for coming today and making this day a huge success. Thank you to our wonderful panel of speakers. Thank you very much. To our sponsors, thank you very much as well. And to all the people who have Parkinson's, if you're able to, can you stand up, please? All the people with Parkinson's, please stand up. All right, keep standing, keep standing, keep standing. Now give everybody seated that's your care partner, give them a hand. Thank you everybody for coming, appreciate it. And thank Kevin for his dad jokes. His dad jokes that are keeping us on time. Good job, Kevin. Oh yeah. The walk is on October 24th, so keep that on your calendar as well for the next event, major event.
And visit parkinsonshawaii.org. Parkinsonshawaii.org. All right, thank you guys. Be safe.